I've been using the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic 47mm non-stop for a bit over the last month now as my smartwatch for basically everything. This review is going to answer the question of how does the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic function as a health and fitness tracker? Now I'm going to answer this question from two perspectives. A general population where weight loss and just being fit and healthy is the main criteria, and the intermediate to advanced athlete who takes health and fitness a little bit more seriously and is looking to improve sport/fitness performance. I'll be basing this review based on my experiences for the last month. Now for some context, I've been using the Garmin Vivoactive 4 for the last couple of years, and it's been great for what I've wanted it for, which is health and fitness tracking first and basic smartwatch features second. I'll be referring to it and making comparisons with the Watch 6 Classic, as Samsung has a bit to catch up on with Garmin. Now remember, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you're interested in health and fitness products to assist you within your own fitness and health journey. I'm Peter from Health and Fitness Tech, and in this video, I'll start with what the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic has been like to use in general, and then we're going to deep dive into the health and fitness features and my experiences with them both. I'll then sum up the review with some final thoughts and if the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic is worth buying, and if I'll be keeping mine or getting rid of it. So what's it like using the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic 47mm Bluetooth for the last month? I can say the experience has been pretty good from a smartwatch perspective. Firstly, love that Samsung has brought the rotating physical bezel back. It's great for those precise actions when scrolling, and it's less finicky than using the screen, especially when wet. There's just a certain satisfaction to be able to physically scroll through the menus. I've got the 47mm 1.5-inch screen version, and the Super AMOLED display is gorgeous to look at. The screen size makes the watch stand out more, but makes all the menus and just everything on the watch easier to view. I can even kinda type a text message from the watch itself. I haven't noticed any lag with watchOS 4. The watch has always been zippy, so no complaints there. Now actually wearing the watch, I've got small wrists, so the 47mm is still okay, and I've been happy with the size, but as you can see, there is quite the gap on my outer wrist, which to me, this is probably too big, but what I noticed is the standard watch strap is medium to large sizing. I'm going to change this to a small to medium sized watch band, and this should eliminate that gap and be more suited to my very small wrists. But I found it still perfectly usable even with this band and my small wrists. I can say that I'm a big fan of the rubber underneath and leather on top hybrid. It's really comfortable and I found it to be very durable so far. I've gone for the silver strap since it really stands out in combination with the stainless steel watch casing. It even has a shine to it when wearing it. So the push button 20mm watch bands are an awesome addition because it makes it easy to interchange bands depending on the occasion. Changing bands was always a very finicky and annoying experience, which now I find encourages me to want to change watch bands for say sleeping, general use and fancy occasions. I found the battery to be okay. The Watch 6 Classic version does have the biggest battery at 425 mAh. You will have to get used to charging your watch and be strategic about when to charge it. Here's some numbers I recorded. I got in the range of around 25 to 50 hours battery life and average about 35 hours. Now this will depend on your use case, but the best battery life settings for me are 30% brightness, always on display off, where in my day I use the smartwatch for notifications, track my body composition in the morning, and work out about 2 hours a day with no GPS and track my sleep. I will say when you work out, the battery does go down a lot quicker. Charging takes me about 1 hour and 20 minutes for a full charge. You will once again have to think about charging, especially after 24 hours of using the watch. It's not too much of a hindrance, you just have to plan a little bit ahead, but I've gotten used to it. The health tracking features we'll go through in detail are sleep tracking, body composition, ECG, and blood pressure. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic will give a variety of health data to keep track of and get an idea of your overall health, which I'm actually enjoying the experience of having access to all of this data on my wrist, because take it with a grain of salt, but it does guide you in your health. A side note, the Watch 6 health tracking experience is also basically unchanged from the Samsung Watch 5 Pro. Whether you have a Watch 6 or Watch 6 Classic, the health tracking features are identical. You've just got a nicer screen to look at with the Watch 6 Classic. Let's start with the sleep tracking, because this new and improved, and it gives me a ton of data from my sleep, and data I didn't even know I wanted or needed. Sounds lame, but I actually look forward to scrolling through my sleep data in the morning. Also important, make sure you activate sleep mode on your watch so it tracks your sleep properly. There's sleep time, which just gives you the number of when your sleep begins and when you wake up, and takes into account your actual sleep time. Great for those who don't want to do the maths like myself. Next is sleep score, just an easy way to rate your sleep. I love just waking up to seeing a score for my sleep, easy to understand, and it comes with a comment. In the Samsung Health app, you can even see your score trends and averages over time. There's also an animation to align with your sleep score. I started with a bear, now I've moved to lion. Sounds corny, but I don't mind it. I also like the sleep score factors that provides you why you got your sleep score. Moving on to sleep stages, it's just a quick graph to show the visual quality of your sleep stages throughout the night. I like this format because I can quickly have a look at my stages of sleep. I find it does a decent job of knowing when I wake up through the night or in the morning before I shut the mode off. If you want a comprehensive look, the Samsung Health app can go into greater detail within the graph. It even does blood oxygen levels, which tells me the time under 90% and provides a graph. The app does a good job to give an explanation of blood oxygen, but also remember, take this data with a grain of salt and go to a medical professional for a real measurement. I find this interesting, but it's just data that's there personally. The snoring tracker blew me away, literally, because I do snore. It tracks the total minutes and shows me the parts of the night I have been snoring. It even records my snoring. I felt a bit wow surveillance there, but it's really cool data to be able to have while sleeping. Just remember to have your phone on a bedside table next to you with the speakers facing your head for it to work properly. The skin temperature feature is an interesting piece of data. It gives you a quick number range in degrees Celsius, which I like, and you can even go further with the Samsung Health app with a graph showing a more detailed analysis of the night's sleep. It's useful because it can tell you if your room is too hot or cold to assist with better sleep. The app does a good job to explain this, and I've never thought about this until now. Sleep consistency will provide you with data of your bedtime and wake up times throughout different periods of time. It does show you if you are consistent or inconsistent with your sleep patterns. You will need 7 nights of sleep data, so the app has some data to analyze these trends. Now we're at the body composition data. I must say I was very excited to be able to have a body analysis at the convenience of my own wrist. Although, really take these measurements with a grain of salt because they are not going to be accurate. But what I want is consistency within the data to give you a benchmark if you're making gains or not. You just need a scale to put a body weight measurement in. From my experience, I find the body fat percentage does fluctuate a bit, but I find it does match okay when I say I've had a big weekend or I've been eating clean and exercising regularly. I also compare it to the body fat percentage calculator on my Eufy C1 Smart Scale, and I find there's not as much of a variation with this scale compared to the Watch 6 Classic. Big thing here, for the most consistent results, make sure you do your measurement at the same time every day. I always do it as soon as I wake up. Now to take a measurement, just follow the prompts and keep your elbows up so your armpits are open, and keep your 2 middle fingers on the buttons. Before we get to the data, interpreting the data is easy to understand. There's a color bar from green to orange that gives you a range of optimal and not so optimal. An arrow pointing up and down with a number to show if you have increased or decreased from the last measurement. So you'll always know at a glance how you have gone for that measurement. Now let's get to the data. So there's weight, skeletal muscle mass, fat mass, body water. Then you'll get your body analysis, which shows body fat percentage, BMI. I'm not the biggest fan of BMI, which doesn't take into account muscle mass, but it's still a good indicator for the general population. Last stat is BMR, which is a measurement of the amount of energy used for heartbeat, breathing, digestion, basically just basic body functions. I find the BMR to be a really good piece of health data for weight loss. For instance, you add your BMR calories with your active calories that the watch tracks through physical activity. This would be your total calories expended throughout the day. Then you will just subtract your calories consumed for the day, but this would involve you knowing your calorie intake. You'll just be aiming to have a calorie deficit to support weight loss. It's the most basic version of explaining weight loss, really. It's good that the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 has this, but most fitness trackers do already have this feature. The ECG feature is a simple test that's used to check your heart's rhythm and electrical activity. This is a basic explanation. Also to note, this is exclusive to Samsung phones due to it needs the Samsung Health Monitor app to display and analyze the measurement from the watch. From my experiences, it's just a cool health feature to have access to, and I don't do it all the time. It's more of a check every now and then. If I'm good, just tick it off until next time. I don't make spreadsheets or anything. The app does a good job to warn you if you should be using it based on your own physiological circumstances, and an official reading needs to be from a doctor. Performing the ECG is really easy. Just press record and the watch gives you instructions. Make sure the watch is on your right wrist and hold the button for 30 seconds to see a cool graphic with your heart rate. And it will give you a report on the Samsung Health Monitor app. To sum up, it's a cool feature for general health purposes. Having access to your blood pressure on your wrist is pretty convenient. You'll need a blood pressure monitor to calibrate the watch to. You'll just follow the prompts on the watch and it guides you through the whole process. It involves blood pressure tests using the blood pressure monitor. These are 3 tests, and you simultaneously do it on the watch as well. Don't stress if your timing isn't perfect. It's about putting the blood pressure readings in the Samsung Health Monitor app. When comparing the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic and the blood pressure monitor, the results are pretty spot on. Maybe 1 or 2 number differences within the systolic and diastolic numbers. Once again, it's just more great data to have to guide your general health, and I use it every now and then just to check in. So how is the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic as a fitness tracker? So for the 2 types of users, first user from a general population point of view, who does general resistance exercises with basic sets and reps, cardio, and some circuit training that doesn't need an in-depth performance analysis and has goals such as weight loss, muscle gains, and just keeping fit in general, this watch with Samsung Health will do the job for you. The second user who may be more advanced, who does say CrossFit, intermediate bodybuilding, maybe advanced calisthenics or Olympic lifting, where you'll need custom exercises, intermediate/advanced training programs, and more complex data/performance analysis, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic may not completely do this for you. There's some issues I've found with my fitness experiences with the Samsung Health app and the fitness data collected from the watch, and it's mostly software related. First issue is that when creating a new exercise, it automatically identifies the workout data screen as a cardio-based exercise. So when creating an exercise, it won't give me any other options besides GPS, route-based, or distance workout, where I don't have an option for reps, sets, and weight for resistance exercises. Just a tad annoying. If you know how to solve this, please comment in the description. Second is not being able to cancel a workout. Say if I accidentally started one and made a mistake or something comes up, there's only a pause or finish option. It's just a quality of life thing here. And once again, if you know, comment in the description, please. Next is a big missing feature, and it involves tracking rounds and splits. This would be important for tracking splits in your cardio workouts, CrossFit metcons, and interval training. There's no round counter on the data screen of the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. So I'm not able to track how many rounds of a workout I'm doing, but I don't know my time splits for each round within the workout. For instance, a basic workout like 5 rounds of 5 thrusters and 5 pull-ups for time. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 will record the total time, whereas the Garmin Vivoactive 4 has a round counter, so I can actually record my times for each round and get a total time. So there's a workout analysis of my times and if I'm consistent or drop off in the rounds. These splits are equally important for cardio, such as doing 4 rounds of 300 meters on the rower with a 1 minute rest in between. Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic shows my total workout time, where the Garmin Vivoactive 4 records time splits, and I can once again check my times for workout analysis, which an intermediate to advanced fitness enthusiast needs. The fitness activity specific data screens show the gap between the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 / the Health app and Garmin in regards to fitness tracking. What I mean by this is, for instance, when you do a workout, let's go with the rower again, the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic data screens don't change for any exercise. So it's always time, heart rate, calories, but nothing specific to the actual exercise. Whereas the Garmin Vivoactive 4 has a stroke counter, which is performance data and great if your rower doesn't have this display, and also shows total strokes count on completion. It's a specific data field that makes a big difference for the user. Now I do like the heart rate tracking and heart rate zones within the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. I find that the heart rate tracking within the workout between the Samsung Watch and the Garmin Vivoactive 4 to be on par with each other during my workouts. I have tested this by using the Samsung on my left wrist and the Garmin on my right wrist while doing cardio workouts, metcons, and resistance training. So I can say the heart rate tracking is decent if it's on par with Garmin, who have a good reputation for decent heart rate tracking during workouts. Okay, we're finally up to the final thoughts about the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic as a health and fitness tracker. So let's answer the question. As a health tracker, it is fantastic and gives a great amount of health data to keep track of someone's general health. With sleep, ECG, body composition, and blood pressure, there's enough health tracking there for the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic to be very useful in your everyday life. In terms of a fitness tracker, software-wise, the Samsung Health app is a bit clunky, but as a fitness tracker for the general population, you can definitely get by with this. It's just when your fitness becomes more complex, it may not be able to keep up. Now, what I will do with the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic, well, I'm going to keep it for the health tracking features, but that's the main reason, to be honest. And I actually train with the Garmin Vivoactive 4 on my right wrist for when I do workouts, as I can get better performance data and keep track of intervals as well. Also, if the exercise isn't in the Samsung Health app, I just set the activity to circuit training and do the weights, reps, and rest periods on the Garmin on my right wrist. So I'm basically that guy that has 2 watches on his wrist while working out, but now you know the reason why and that I'm not crazy. I will also add, if you're looking at the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic as a whole smartwatch package, it is great, especially health tracking. But if fitness is your main jam, I think there's better options out there. I'm Peter from Health and Fitness Tech, and thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and have a go at one of the videos on the screen. And don't forget to type any products that you would like to see a review for in the comments. And I'll be seeing you in the next video.